Let's get right into it. Number 9, useless puffs. Picture this. You're listening to a particularly moving piece of music, or maybe watching a movie scene where the hero finally triumphs. Suddenly, a weird, chilly tingle washes over your skin. The tiny hairs on your arms stand up straight, creating a field of miniature bumps. Goosebumps. You're not cold. You're not scared. You're just emotionally compromised by a string quartet. So what is your body doing? Is it trying to give you a round of applause using only your follicles? This is your ancient hairy ancestor saying hello. Back when we were covered in a respectable coat of fur, this reaction, officially called piloerection, was incredibly useful. When you got cold, puffing up your fur would trap a layer of air close to the skin, acting as a natural insulator. Think of a bird fluffing its feathers in winter. More importantly, when a predator, say a cranky saber-toothed tiger, popped out from behind a rock, puffing up your fur made you look bigger and more intimidating. It's the biological equivalent of shouting, "I am large and in charge." Your house cat does the exact same thing when it's startled, turning from a sleek loaf into a spiky Halloween decoration. But you, a modern human with central heating and a distinct lack of saber-toothed tigers in your neighborhood, don't have enough body hair for this to do anything. Your skin is faithfully executing a program for hardware you no longer have. The emotional trigger is the ghost in the machine. Intense emotions, whether fear, awe, or pride, fire up your sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight response. Your brain, not one for nuance, just mashes the big red "something is happening" button, and piloerection is part of that package deal. So when you get goosebumps, it's just your nervous system trying to puff you up for a fight you're not in, or keep you warm with a fur coat you don't own. It's your body's most adorably useless threat display. Number 8, kitchen parties. You've been to one. You've probably hosted one. A party is in full swing. There's a comfortable living room with sofas, a great sound system, maybe even a carefully curated mood lighting situation. And yet, where is everyone? They're all crammed into the kitchen, standing shoulder to shoulder, trying to have a conversation over the hum of the refrigerator. They're leaning on counters, blocking the microwave, and creating a human traffic jam around the sink. Why? Why does the least comfortable, most utilitarian room in the house become the social nexus of every gathering? Welcome to the watering hole effect. For hundreds of thousands of years, the most important places for survival were sources of food and water. These were the natural gathering spots. You'd go to the river or the watering hole not just to drink, but to see who was around, to share information, and to feel safe in numbers. There's security in a group, especially when you're in a vulnerable position. Standing around a central resource is baked into our social DNA. It's a primal comfort. In a modern house, the kitchen is the watering hole. It's where the resources are: the food, the drinks, the ice. Your hindbrain, the ancient lizard part of you that's still worried about predators, feels a deep, instinctual sense of security when you're gathered with your tribe around the source of life-sustaining sustenance. The living room might have comfy chairs, but it's an open, exposed plain. The kitchen, with its resources and defined space, feels like a defensible camp. So next time you find yourself squished between the dishwasher and someone telling a story too loudly, just remember you're not being awkward. You're just a highly evolved primate trying to make sure nobody gets eaten while they're reaching for the chips and dip. Number 7, the human jump scare. A car backfires down the street. A dish shatters on the floor. Your roommate, who you thought was out, suddenly says your name from the shadows of the hallway. Before you can even process what the sound was, your body has already reacted. Your heart launches itself into your throat, your shoulders fly up to your ears, and you might even let out a little squeak you'll deny for the rest of your life. This is the startle reflex, and it's your body's way of proving it's much, much faster than your conscious mind. This isn't a decision. It's a pre-programmed emergency protocol. Information from your ears and eyes normally takes a scenic route through your brain's cortex to be analyzed. Your cortex would say, that sounded like shattering ceramic. Let's cross-reference that with memories of broken plates. Ah, yes, someone dropped a dish. No cause for alarm. But your brain has a shortcut for emergencies. A sudden loud noise bypasses the slow, thoughtful cortex and takes a direct expressway to the amygdala, your brain's panic room. The amygdala doesn't think, it screams. It floods your system with adrenaline, tensing your muscles for immediate action, to run, to fight, to jump 10 feet in the air. This whole process happens in milliseconds, long before your conscious brain has even received the memo that there was a noise. This reflex was designed to save you from a pouncing predator or a falling rock. The half second it saved you by not thinking could be the difference between life and death. Today, it's the difference between calmly noticing a dropped plate and performing an involuntary full-body cringe that spills your coffee all over the cat. Your nervous system isn't trying to be dramatic. It's just running an ancient anti-tiger software package that's a little too sensitive for the modern world. Number 6, ghost buzzing. You feel it. That familiar, insistent vibration in your pocket or purse. A text, a call, an urgent notification that your friend just posted a picture of their lunch. You reach for your phone, pull it out, and the screen is blank. Dark. Lifeless. Nothing. You just experienced phantom vibration syndrome, the ghost in your pocket. You're not going crazy. Your brain is just so desperately hooked on social connection that it's starting to hallucinate. This is a new school problem powered by an old school instinct. Your brain is a pattern recognition machine. It's constantly scanning the environment for important signals, and for a prehistoric human, an important signal might be the rustle of leaves that means a predator is near, or the distant call of a tribe member. We are wired to be hypervigilant for signals of opportunity or danger. Fast forward to today. What's the most important signal in your daily life? For many of us, it's the buzz of our phone, a signal that someone in our digital tribe wants to connect. Your brain has learned that this specific vibrational frequency is a high-priority event. It's so eager to receive that social reward that it starts getting a little trigger-happy. The slight rustle of your clothing, a muscle twitch, or just random neural noise gets misinterpreted by your overeager cortex as a phone call. It's the neurological equivalent of being so hungry you start thinking a rock looks like a potato. Your brain isn't just waiting for the signal, it's actively hoping for it, filling in the blanks when there's nothing there. Basically, your brain wants you to have friends so badly, it's willing to invent them buzzing in your pocket. Number 5, the gossip engine. Admit it, you love a little bit of gossip. Hearing that your coworker is secretly dating someone from accounting, or that your neighbor is in a feud over a fence line, it's compelling. We're often taught that gossip is a petty, negative thing, a moral failing. But what if I told you that the urge to whisper, "You are not going to believe what I just heard," is one of the most important evolutionary instincts we have? What if gossip is what made us human? Think about our ancestors living in small, tight-knit tribes of 100 or so people. Your survival didn't just depend on your ability to hunt or gather. It depended on your ability to navigate a complex social web. Who can you trust? Who is reliable? Who is a freeloader that eats all the berries but never picks any? Who is secretly plotting to steal your favorite rock? You couldn't learn this through direct observation alone. You needed intel. Gossip was the original social data sharing network. It was the way you learned about the reputations, relationships, and reliability of others in your group. It was a survival tool for mapping your social world. This instinct is still running the show today. When you're sharing stories about your boss, your friends, or celebrities, you're not just being nosy. You are flexing a primal social muscle. You're gathering data. You're reinforcing group norms. Can you believe she did that? We don't do that here. You're building bonds with the person you're gossiping with, creating a circle of trust. Of course, it can be used for harm, but the underlying drive isn't malicious. It's an ancient, powerful mechanism for social cohesion and self-preservation. It's your brain's way of keeping a detailed spreadsheet on everyone in your tribe to make sure you don't end up sharing your cave with a jerk. Number 4, puppy rage. A tiny, fluffy kitten stumbles toward you with its oversized eyes and clumsy paws. A baby giggles, showing off its 2 new teeth. A puppy with floppy ears trips over its own feet. You look at this concentrated blast of pure, unfiltered cuteness, and an incredibly strange thought flashes through your mind. I must crush it. You want to squish its little cheeks, bite its little head, squeeze it until it squeaks. This bizarre, seemingly violent urge in the face of overwhelming adorableness is real. It's called cute aggression, and it's your brain's way of not short-circuiting. When you see something incredibly cute, your brain's mesocorticolimbic system, the reward center, goes absolutely bonkers. It's flooded with dopamine, the same chemical that fires up when you eat delicious food or win the lottery. The feeling is so intensely positive that it becomes overwhelming. Your brain, in its infinite and clumsy wisdom, needs to balance the scales to prevent you from being paralyzed by a cuteness-induced seizure. So it throws a dash of the opposite emotion into the mix: aggression. It's a form of emotional regulation. The grrr, I must bite it feeling is a countervailing force that tempers the overwhelming awe feeling, allowing you to function. It's not a genuine desire to harm the cute thing. It's a purely expressive and ultimately protective impulse. Think of it like a computer that's overheating. Your brain's fan kicks on, and that fan just happens to be a brief, phantom rage. It's the same reason people sometimes cry when they're deliriously happy. The emotion is too big, and the brain has to let off some steam in a weird way. So no, you don't actually want to punt that puppy. Your brain is just trying to stop you from melting into a puddle of sentimental goo. Number 3, almost human, totally terrifying. You're watching a new animated movie and the characters look off. They're not cartoonish, but they're not perfectly human either. Their skin is a little too smooth, their eyes don't blink quite right, their smiles don't reach their cheeks. Instead of feeling immersed, you feel a deep, creeping sense of revulsion. Or maybe you see a humanoid robot that moves in a jerky, unnatural way. It's not scary because it looks like a monster. It's scary because it looks almost like a person. This is the uncanny valley, a famous concept in robotics and animation. As something non-human looks more and more human, our affinity for it increases, but only up to a point. When it gets almost perfect, but with subtle flaws, our positive feelings plummet into a chasm of fear and disgust. Why? Because an ancient part of your brain is screaming at you that something is terribly wrong. One leading theory is that this is an instinctual disease avoidance mechanism. For millennia, subtle imperfections in a human's appearance, unusual skin texture, jerky movements, a vacant stare, were telltale signs of sickness, disease, or death. A corpse looks almost human, but not quite. Someone with a deadly contagious illness might look almost healthy, but not quite. Your brain evolved to be an expert at detecting these subtle cues for the sake of survival. When it sees an almost human robot or CGI character, it doesn't see a technological marvel. It sees a walking plague carrier. It sees a corpse that's up and moving around. Your primal brain flags it as a threat to the health of the tribe, triggering a powerful get-away-from-me response. So when a creepy CGI elf makes your skin crawl, thank your ancestors. They're the reason you instinctively know not to hang out with zombies. Number 2, the high place urge. You're standing on a high balcony, a cliff edge, or the top floor of a skyscraper, looking down at the world below. It's beautiful. It's majestic. And then, for a split second, a terrifying and intrusive thought darts through your mind. I could just jump. You have no desire to die. You aren't suicidal. But the thought is there, an uninvited guest in your consciousness that makes your stomach clench and your palms sweat. This deeply unsettling experience is so common it has a name, the call of the void, or in French, l'appel du vide. It's not a death wish. In fact, paradoxically, it's a sign that your survival instinct is working perfectly, perhaps a little too perfectly. Researchers believe this is a misinterpretation of a safety signal. When you're in a high place, your brain's survival system kicks into high gear. It's screaming at you, danger, high place, be careful, don't fall. It's an immediate, intuitive, and powerful alarm. Your conscious analytical mind then tries to make sense of this sudden jolt of anxiety and alarm. You look around, see you aren't in any immediate danger of falling, and you ask yourself, why am I so freaked out? Your brain, in its attempt to find a logical reason for the intense fear signal it's receiving, offers a bizarre suggestion. Maybe I want to jump. The thought of jumping is so shocking and alien that it affirms your desire to live. You recoil from the thought, which makes you take a step back from the edge, which is exactly what your survival instinct wanted you to do in the first place. The call of the void isn't a siren song from the abyss. It's your brain's safety alarm being so loud that for a second, you mistake it for an instruction. Number 1, knocking on wood. You say something out loud like, I've never broken a bone, and then feel a compulsive, immediate urge to find a piece of wood to knock on. You avoid walking under ladders. You feel a pang of unease if a black cat crosses your path. You have a lucky shirt you wear for important events. Logically, you know these actions have zero impact on the universe. You are aware that the structural integrity of your skeleton is not determined by your proximity to a coffee table. And yet, you do it anyway. This is your brain's desperate, instinctual attempt to control the uncontrollable. The world is a chaotic, random place. For our ancestors, life was a relentless series of unpredictable events: droughts, famines, storms, predators. The human brain, however, hates chaos. It is fundamentally a pattern-seeking machine. It evolved to find cause and effect relationships everywhere because doing so was a massive survival advantage. If I eat these red berries, I get sick. If I hear this sound, a tiger is near. Superstition is that pattern-matching software going into overdrive and creating false positives. When two things happen in close succession, say, you wore your lucky mammoth tooth necklace and the hunt went well, your brain forges a link. It creates an if-then rule that gives you a feeling of agency, a sense of control over a world that offers very little. Performing a small ritual, like knocking on wood or avoiding a crack in the sidewalk, is a way of satisfying that deep-seated need to do something to influence outcomes. It's an illusion of control, but it can be a powerful psychological comfort. It soothes the anxious part of your brain that knows you're just a fragile creature at the mercy of probability. Your superstitions aren't a sign of foolishness. They're a testament to your brain's ancient, tireless, and occasionally misguided effort to write a rulebook for reality. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.